Surveys underpin life. Surveys tell us about the state of elections, the state of the economy. They're used by the government to understand threats to public health. They're used by researchers to understand the world. The assumption is that we're capturing information from real human beings, that we're aggregating public opinion in a meaningful way. The paper that I wrote questions that. It suggests that now it's possible to deploy bots that perfectly mimic a human. And the really terrifying thing is that when I wrote this paper, I included the word potential existential threat. Today, I don't think that's the case. I think it is an existential threat. There is empirical evidence to suggest that a portion of online survey panels are no longer human. In many ways, surveys are a curse to democracy. When we turn on CNN or when we turn on Fox News, we often see the latest polls rather than substantive coverage of the candidates. That's elevated polling to a point where it's almost as if we're watching a basketball tournament. But it's not just political candidates. If we look at policy, a lot of policy in this country is decided by polling. Should we repeal healthcare? Should we expand healthcare? But more to the point, the government regularly uses surveys to try and identify the state of the economy, to identify where we need to invest resources into helping the poor, where we need to invest resources to combat sickness and illness. If a machine is responding instead of a human, should we trust public opinion on a policy? It really comes into question. So there are a lot of tells that can be used to identify an AI. Human beings enter text character by character. There are going to be typos. The tool that I developed is meant to simulate that. It's simulating the human use of a mouse, and it's simulating the human use of a keyboard. I'm a professor of government. I'm not a professional coder. The fact that I was able to do this at the level I was able to do it should be terrifying to you. One of the things that we have to do is make sure that it doesn't respond too quickly. So I've actually figured out how long it would take a human being to read the text on screen, and it's going to delay responses so that it simulates that reading time. Any group that has professional coders should be able to do this not only at the level that I have, but infinitely better. So not only are we creating a tool that can act like a human, but we're creating a tool that will suppress its superhuman AI tendencies. So for example, write Fortran code or describe a day in Chicago in 1978. You need to convince the model to suppress that kind of response. There are two groups that would use AI to answer surveys. There are individuals who are trying to do it for profit. So we've seen survey farms in foreign countries try to leverage the power of the US dollar for a very long time. I think the other potential threat is that foreign governments have intervened in surveys for a very long time as well. Any group that wants to destabilize a country is going to see this as an opportunity to magnify the reach of their information warfare efforts. A terrifying truth of the public is that they respond to polling data. So if they see that the members of their party support an issue, they're more likely to support that issue. So it's possible then for an AI poison survey to set actual public opinion. So you could end up in a weird world where AI creates opinion that then actually becomes real. But I don't think that we necessarily need to give up on public opinion polling. What we need to do is we need to be more careful about how we collect it and more careful in how we present it. There are ways to accurately and precisely measure public opinion. They're just much more expensive and much harder to do. We shouldn't give up. We should just be cautious.